Hi everyone, my name is John Traylor and I would like to thank you all for coming out tonight and just devoting your time to listen to my speech and just thank you for that and I'll get started with that. I did my speech on electronic cigarettes, e-cigarettes, or in other words, vapes. So the United States National Youth Tobacco Survey in 2015 says that 3 million middle school and high school students use electronic cigarettes, which was an increase from 2.5 million or 2.5 million in 2014. Today I would like to introduce to you and raise your awareness about electronic cigarettes and explain why they're so bad for everyone's health. Most electronic cigarette companies market their product to be healthier alternative to traditional cigarettes. By doing research on this, I have learned that they're not actually as good for you as what everyone thinks. Most people think that electronic cigarettes are better for you than tobacco cigarettes. Today I would like to talk to you about how dangerous they really are and how they're not actually healthy for you. I will tell you about electronic cigarettes, how they came about, the ingredients used in the liquid, vapors, the dangers of electronic cigarettes, and how companies are marketing and promoting these products, that all of these that they sell today. By the end, I hope that everyone who does smoke that uses electronic cigarettes will consider to stop because they really are not healthy for you. Wikipedia defines electronic cigarettes as a handheld device that vaporizes liquid. When the liquid vaporizes, then you inhale the vapor. E-cigarettes have three parts: the cigarette that holds the liquid, a heating device that heats up the liquid and turns it into vapor, and a battery for your battery source, which heats up the part that burns the liquid. The vapor comes through the device that gets inhaled. It does not burn tobacco, so there really isn't any smoke or carbon monoxide that has any odor. Most electronic cigarettes have a flavor, and they give off actually a good smelling odor. Electronic cigarettes were invented as a way for people to try and stop smoking, and in 2003 a pharmacist invented the e-cigarette. He was a smoker who decided to start using e-cigarettes because his dad was a heavy smoker on real tobacco cigarettes, which actually killed him. Most e-cigarette companies advertise their products as a safer way to smoke, but e-cigarettes still have many harmful ingredients and side effects. Nicotine is one of the harmful ingredients in the e-cigarette liquids. Another is the diethylene glycol. This is used to make antifreeze. It is also a toxic in humans that causes your mouth, throat, and lungs to be inflamed. Some of the ingredients can cause brain damage and cancer. Some people think that e-cigarettes are better for the environment and have refillable cartridges. WebMD's article, Nicotine Poisoning, which is said that nicotine is one of the biggest hazards of an e-cigarette. Traditional tobacco e-cigarettes contain nicotine, but it's inside of the cigarette vapor. The user does not actually touch the nicotine with the e-cigarette. The e-cigarette with the user can come into contact with the liquid nicotine. The user could spill nicotine on their skin and be exposed to too much nicotine. Studies have shown that even though some liquids are labeled as nicotine free, they still contain nicotine. The Center for Disease Control repeats that deadly close of nicotine would be 50 to 60 milligrams for the average adult weighing about 150 pounds. It would be hard for someone smoking traditional tobacco cigarettes to get this much nicotine. A person only absorbs about 1 milligram of nicotine with regular tobacco cigarettes. E-cigarettes are harder because there aren't restrictions on how much nicotine is in the liquid vapors. Swallowing nicotine can become deadly for young children. The liquid vapors usually are in bright colored packages and have fruity or candy smells. This makes kids want to try the liquids. A toddler can also die from as little as 1 teaspoon of liquid of nicotine. According to the National Institution of Drug Abuse, the listed amount of nicotine can be trusted, and the Food and Drug Administration does not have strict guidelines for e-cigarettes like they do for tobacco cigarettes. Manufacturers don't have to list their ingredients. E-cigarettes are called safer than tobacco cigarettes. Many companies use this to convince customers to buy their products. Electronic cigarette vapors come in flavors like mint, fruit, and chocolate. This draws people in and makes them want to smoke e-cigarettes, even though they don't smoke tobacco cigarettes, especially young people. In 2014, the United States General Report showed that electronic cigarettes are the most commonly used tobacco products in the United States of America, which traditionally tobacco cigarettes being second. Many electronic cigarette marketers also use the bling factor to bring in young adults. They decide that electronic cigarette devices to make them cool to young people. Today, I hope I have shown you why electronic cigarettes are just as harmful as traditional tobacco cigarettes, and I've explained what an e-cigarette is, how they came about, what they're made up of, the dangers of using electronic cigarettes, and how many companies market their products. I believe that electronic cigarettes are just as addictive as tobacco cigarettes. I think that both electronic cigarettes and tobacco cigarettes are bad for your health and for our environment. Thanks everyone for coming out tonight and listening to my speech. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you learned something about it.